Welcome to Excel Tips and tip number 10. Today we will be looking at scenarios. On my screen you can see a very simple model with a few inputs and the cost and revenue and a net profit being calculated. However, what we want to do is we want to run some scenarios on our inputs. So I'll highlight my input field and then I'll go to Data for 2010 and What If Analysis. Now this is slightly different for 2003, it'll be the same for 2007, but for 2003 you want to make your way to the to Tools, Scenarios, and then Add. So if I go to Scenario Manager and I say Add as well, and now I can call a scenario name. So let's just call this Scenario 1. We click OK. And we'll say, right, I want to change my inflation down, maybe not that much. I want to put my margin up, and I want to put the starting cost up as well. We say add. And we'll say scenario 2. Now you can keep doing this for as many scenarios as you want, just depending on what the outcome that you're looking for. Now what we've done is we've set up 2 scenarios so far. Now we need to say I want a summary. And in the summary you select where you want the what the summary range is. So this one I'm interested in seeing the change in the net profit based on those 2 scenarios. So you can see I've selected the net profit area as the result cells. I then say scenario summary. I click OK, and it will bring up a sheet which basically comes up and says what our scenario 1 and scenario 2 are, what their values were versus the current values, and what the net profit comes out to based on the current values. As you can see, I've put NPYR1 for net profit year 1, 2 and 3. This is simply named ranges, and I'll demonstrate the difference here. I've got inflation, margin and C5. If I go back to my data sheet, you see I've name ranged inflation, margin, but this one is still C5. It's the same down here. Net profit year 1, net profit year 2, net profit year 3. The only reason is so that it can be read more understandably in this table. So that's how scenarios work, and it can be a very, very good way to manipulate multiple scenarios or multiple variables to see how different scenarios would play out in a model. This is a great way to do some flexing and testing of any model with large data outputs, and you can essentially select your scenario and your outputs over a number of different sheets. So it can be very, very useful and very, very powerful.